I'm pretty sure the Europeans have absolutely lost their minds.
Is it accurate to say that you are sort of a humor police for Germany?
Yes.
This is who we are, yes.
Yes, as a matter of fact, this is exactly who we are.
We make sure the German does not laugh.
Why?
It holds them back from working.
But isn't Germany's economy a disaster anyway?
Yes, that's because somebody laughed.
Yes.
Yes.
That's why we punish laughing with jail.
Snickers for
Wow, I did not see that coming. As things are going absolutely crazy in Europe, as the Germans are mad at the British, there's peace negotiations happening right now as Donald Trump just called Zelensky a dictator. He has called for elections, but right now it looks like the U.S. envoy definitely has changed its tune, highlighting how there actually could be a larger deal here. We want to talk about the specifics of those larger deals, because if it doesn't work out, it essentially signals potential Armageddon and a nuclear war. Yep, it's that severe, it's that crazy, as peace here is essential, not only for Donald Trump's legacy, but for the peace and prosperity of the world. Will he be able to achieve it? Well, let's talk about it, as what we just highlighted to you was a satirical video made by Snick Lenk in Germany, who sent me that video, and it's brilliant, and it highlights this kind of larger distance that is now widening between the United States and Europe, as we had the Vice President of the United States arrive at the Munich Security Council and say, hey, can you guys please respect free speech? And now the Germans doubled down and arrested people for making memes. They laughed about taking their devices on 60 Minutes. Now the British, not to be outdone by the treachery and tyranny, have just announced that they have forced Apple to remove all of the cloud encryption features in the United Kingdom, as the government there has ordered the company to build a backdoor for accessing users' data. Yes, you heard that correctly. Apple just surrendered to the liberal government, and now has, of course, removed the highest level of data security for all of its Apple devices in the United Kingdom, which now allows the government to have access to all of your messages and all of your photos. Yes, including the one of your Johnson and your Willie that you send to your loved ones, that the U.S. government has already been looking at for a very long time. We've been talking about this way before even Snowden came out. I confronted the head of the NSA and the CIA, and I was like, why are you guys looking at people's private wee-wee pictures? How'd you know that? It didn't take genius to figure it out here, but this does highlight the larger kind of discontent, the larger kind of breaking up of alliances, as there has been a lot of serious talk about the United States leaving NATO, and the Europeans looking at themselves being like, we got to fight Russia ourselves. And that's not really a convenient thing for them to do. One, because they're shooting themselves in the foot, especially in Germany, when it comes to their energy policy, since they're dependent on foreign energy and they're getting rid of their nuclear reactors in some way to appease the woke green insane people, which again, just on its face value is absolutely, I want to say the word, stupid. Family friendly show here. It's absolutely idiotic. And the Germans that are dealing with severe economic problems and issues because of their energy lack of resources, and them literally now going back to coal and stopping even new energy from being developed, is highlighting how they're in a big political mess. As even The Guardian points out, quote, don't mention the war. In Germany, politicians are hiding the truth about defense spending, as Donald Trump and his new administration has been coming to Europe and saying, hey, you guys got to spend more on NATO. Why are we spending the vast majority here on NATO? Why are we spending the vast majority on Ukraine? We gave them $200 billion. Trump says $350 billion. Who knows the exact kind of numbers here? As Zelensky came out and says, I don't know. I don't know what happened. 100 billion, poof, gone. I don't know. How? No. How? That's my money. That's America's money. Where did it go? And the amount of money that the Europeans would need to spend in order to protect itself, in order to launch a larger kind of invasive war against Russia is huge and would be impossible, according to many geopolitical foreign policy experts, without the direct help and assistance of the United States. Now enter the United States trying to end this war, and the Europeans are up in arms. They're throwing their baguettes all around here, and their little frickin' coffee. Oh, no, you can't. Try. As the French government, the UK government, all participated in prolonging this conflict, in preventing peace talks here. And now they're doing the same. As Donald Trump came in there and said, look, listen, this is not going to work here, guys. You got to spend more money. You got to respect free speech. And all the Europeans are like, yeah, we're not going to do any of that. What do you think's going to happen here? It's not going to be good for Western relations between Europe and the United States unless something changes. These neoliberal, woke, indoctrinated folks in Europe aren't going to change anything. And this signals a larger kind of shift, a larger change internationally and geopolitically that has been coming for a long time, but now will be finally kind of manifested under Trump's administration, who is going to be very comfortable making the larger decisions when it comes to cutting off Europe. This is why I also argued in previous videos why Europe is absolutely done. Because I've been, studying foreign policy for a very long time, looking into the larger kind of geopolitical ramifications of this. I have a video on this channel. You go on YouTube and you go on this channel, you go most popular. You're going to see a video with me and a certain content creator literally describing what has been happening in the Middle East with Russia and Ukraine. Before the war started, we predicted the war. And it doesn't take a genius. It just takes you paying attention, figuring things out, looking at the way that the wind is shifting, understanding the people in charge, what they want, what they're getting, to see the larger trajectory here. And we take a lot of that information of understanding what the future will look like, and we make it easy and very simple for members of LukeUnfiltered.com to get the best downloads, to get the best action plan, to make sure that they become the best, most incredible, awesome human beings just by simply signing up to LukeUnfiltered.com. It costs 20 cents a day, $8 a month. You could afford $8 a month. Well, listen, are you going to go to Starbucks and get one of those little pink armpit-haired flip-flop wearing yuppie drinks? You're going to get that? That's $8, all right? Filled with horrible stuff. The water in Starbucks is good. All that other stuff, though, all that sugar nonsense, it gives you anxiety, it screws you over. I might give you a little bit of anxiety, but I give you the solutions, and the solutions are worth a lot. So sign up right now, LukeUnfiltered.com, 20 cents a day. Link is in the description of this YouTube video. Click it. I will see you there, and I'm releasing 2 videos in just a few minutes, by the way. I forgot to do it yesterday. Damn it. 2 videos specifically about all the opportunities that you should be taking right now. Sign up to LukeUnfiltered.com. It means the world to us, and it is critically important to sustain and grow this independent media operation that now plans on doing a lot of international reporting. We got to get off the ground, and again, if many hands make light work. $8. It's not a lot, but it means the world to us, especially if enough people do this, when we are going to be able to ratchet things up. As you can see, I'm working nonstop here. I'm working 7 days a week. I'm releasing 3 to 4, 5, 6 videos sometimes a day. And I've been on a tear lately because the administration has been on a tear. And this is some of the most important work that needs to be done right now. And this is why peace should be achieved here, and the peacemakers should be respected. But the opposite of that is happening. Trump is being slandered. Trump is being attacked, especially by the Europeans, the European media. And it really shows you what's going on here, as we are closer to a deal. As the United States National Security Advisor just came out and said Ukraine will actually sign over the mineral rights and make a deal with the United States, which brings us closer to peace. And we see this kind of acquiescing to Trump happening because even Trump's envoy just specifically made a very big statement about Zelensky, talking about how he's very brave, how he's very courageous, and in a larger post when it comes to a lot of these meetings and backroom deals that are happening right now, highlighting how there's a part of Trump's envoy that's like, okay, hey, Zelensky's not that bad. He's not that, not a total dictator. But this is predominantly because Zelensky probably came to the United States recently and said, okay, let's just make some deal here. Let's just do something here. As we're finding out that Ukraine could also be granted instant NATO membership if Russia violates a potential peace deal that is being negotiated right now, as Ukraine really wants security protections. Ukraine wants to make sure that Russia's not going to come back in there. And the Russians want Ukraine to, of course, demilitarize. They want them to get rid of all of their military equipment that the West has been giving them to make sure that the Ukrainians don't continue to launch and attack them. So this is just about having both sides here put down the firearm. Now, if they could just put down the firearm at the same time, or at least make Ukraine feel safe so we could actually give them some security protection so they don't feel kind of left out by themselves, in order to push a larger peace deal here, create some kind of maybe buffer zone. I think we need to look at all larger possibilities here, as it looks like the deal would also include Russia declaring victory, gaining some territory. But the most important part is to make sure that this conflict doesn't ramp up again, especially if Donald Trump is either taken out of office or something happens to his health, or 4 years pass and there's a new president that just is going to want to restart it and continue the old neoconservative doctrine from the United States foreign policy that has been continued for many decades on out now. Since you look at the policies of Bush, of Obama, of Biden, they all continue the same kind of larger kind of geopolitical strategy here. Trump's the only one who kind of shifted it. He shifted it halfway during his first administration. He's shifting it a lot. He's changing it a lot, this administration. Now, what's going to happen with the new president 3-4 years from now? That's going to be something that we need to codify this peace deal in such a way that it can't just be easily unraveled, and it could potentially spark new larger conflicts, because there's a lot at stake here. Marco Rubio recently sat down with the corporate media, and he gave us insights about some of the negotiations that are happening behind the scenes, specifically describing how Zelensky says one thing in private meetings and then another thing to the general public, highlighting how Biden was also very mad at Zelensky, and Biden even cursed out Zelensky. So clearly there's an issue here. There's a lot of tensions between U.S. leadership and Volodymyr Zelensky. Hopefully that does get solved. Hopefully there is a resolution, as right now the Trump administration is calling for new elections. Why are they calling for new elections? Well, they probably will be backing Zelensky's opposition if Zelensky doesn't play ball. If Zelensky doesn't kind of acquiesce here to the larger kind of demands of the United States, as they are working out a deal, not just with Russia, but with Saudi Arabia, with China, and it's going to be a major one that could involve the potential. This is the two pathways that human civilization is on right now, by the way. One, global energy, global capitalism, global trade. Boom. That's peace, prosperity, no more conflict, no more war. The war machines are stopped, and then we start literally to explore space, look at ways to divert comets that might hit us, look at larger kind of solutions, as the possibility of ending all nuclear weapons is also on the table, leading us into a new day and age of peace and prosperity. That's one road and possibility that I think Trump is trying to achieve. Second possibility is World War III, nuclear annihilation, and an apocalypse. Yes. And I don't mean to say that hyperbolically, but we've been close to this. And a lot of people don't understand just how close we have been to this. Not just with the crazy situations going off in Turkey. Turkey shut down a Russian airliner. People forget about the insanity that we've been dealing with, specifically in the theater of war in Syria. People don't understand just the crazy escalations that have been happening here, building up, the blowing up of the Nord Stream pipeline, the going after the Crimea Bridge, the sending of directed CIA hit squads and teams inside of Russia, going after some of their journalists and thought leaders. As now, the Ukrainians, again, totally out of the spy books here. The Ukrainians are pretty much essentially dealing with a lot of influence and a lot of the kind of actors of the CIA, as they just planted explosive devices in drone pilots' virtual reality goggles. Yep, just straight out of the Mossad playbook, straight out of the CIA playbook. Lots of really crazy sabotage attacks that have terrified a lot of people in Russia, as generals that have previously warned about the biolab weapon facilities that the Obama administration set up in Ukraine in 2014 with Dr. Fauci, who has a part in ever since then. That guy also got assassinated with a scooter explosive right outside of his home, as a nuclear war is bad. I don't know. Breaking news. You guys getting blown up to smithereens. Bad news. No good. No bueno. No. Niedobrze. It's bad. Now, is that a larger possibility? Trump is a juggernaut. He's a big political force. He wants to be known as the guy who sets the peace deal here. Will the CIA, will Zelensky, will all these other people that have been sabotaging the peace deals sabotage this one? And if they do, the ramifications are big because they lead to, of course, big global war. That's a question that I think we're going to find out in the next few days. What force will be more powerful? The warmongers, the CIA, the saboteurs, or Donald Trump, who wants to have a record of being a peacemaker? Who will win? I don't know. Let me know down in the comment section below. Sign up to lukeunfiltered.com. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here exclusively on youtube.com/wearechange.